Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to many of us. Welcome to Marketing Monday, CXO TV continuous mission to share knowledge with Marketing Monday, a chat series that began in 2020 and has completed over 150 episodes featuring industry top marketers. So today at CXO TV Marketing Monday, we have Nicholas Braman, Marketing Director, APAC, Kyriba. Welcome, Nicholas. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Awesome. So to get started, let me ask you now, what drew you to the field of marketing, which is often being considered dynamic, interesting, and at the very same time complex as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what I love about my job and why I'm excited to go to work at least almost every day. I love the blend of science and art and the variety of different activities we get to do as marketers. So it's always something new and fun.
Okay. So I mean, when it comes to marketing, I mean, that's something which you just thought from the day one, or is it like while doing your graduation or probably post-graduation or studies, you thought like, okay, this could be the perfect fit for you?
Yeah, I actually got started focused more on the digital side of things. Love working with data and being able to see exactly where the results are coming from and track everything very closely. So I started off in digital, e-commerce and an agency, and then have been in tech for the past 8 to 10 years.
Okay. So in the competitive B2B landscape, how does Kyriba prioritize a strategic engagement with its target audience to drive growth?
Yeah, I think that's a great phrase, strategic engagement. Of course, as marketers, and I think we'll talk in a little bit more detail later, but especially being an APAC, we're often a pretty lean team. We don't always have the most resources, and we have to be very strategic. We can't try to do everything everywhere all at once. And the engagement portion is also, of course, very important. I think as marketers, sometimes we are not as engaged with the customers and our audience as we should be. So I think it's really important that we are talking to customers, we're understanding their pain points, the value that our solution brings to them, and really putting ourselves out there, not relying on getting, information from secondhand information. And so that goes together, the whole strategic engagement piece. As I said, I am a big believer in using data and attribution, and I've seen it come a long way, over the course of my career. And I think, especially the last 3 or 4 years, our attribution models, our data and tracking is getting more and more sophisticated. And as I'm in demand generation, growth, revenue marketing, whatever you want to call it, really being able to see where your leads, not only your leads, but your pipeline generation, your results are coming from, see what's working and what's not working is vital to being successful. So I think it's really important that we keep a close eye on it. We have a great marketing operations team here at Kyriba. And then the other side of it is providing value and delivering the right message for the right people. There's always a push to try to sell as soon as you start talking to customers, but I'm a big believer in thought leadership, in delivering value, in not trying to sell when you are talking to customers at the beginning. Of course, I think that's pretty standard for things like white papers and ebooks, but I still go to some conferences and you get people up on stage that are doing a kind of demo or a pitch and showing how many customers they have. And I just don't think that's the right time to be engaging people that way. I want Kyriba to be seen as a thought leader, and I think that's important for most companies. It shows that you understand your audience and their pain points and how your solution can help.
Absolutely. I think understanding the customer is very important, and I think data driven approach definitely helps in building a strong and a long-lasting relationship with its audience, which ultimately lead to growth and success in the B2B space. So how do you feel, a marketing leader should engage with customers, or is that a sales and customer success team's job?
Definitely not. Mentioned, with the strategic engagement portion, marketers shouldn't be only behind the scenes and relying on sales to be at the front. I think it's really important for marketing leaders and marketers at all stages of their career to be engaging with customers, to be talking to customers, and not rely on their sales or other cross-functional teams to do that for you. First of all, it's obviously going to help you understand the customers better, as I've already mentioned, but also building those relationships with champions in your customer organization is going to be able to let you do more, provide more value, do better marketing activities, grow your customer advocacy program. That's something I've been working on a lot over the past couple of years. Of course, that can be customer stories, very basic, but moving on from that, bringing people into roundtables, having people speak together at webinars or at conferences. It provides the social proof to your prospects that are the audience that's listening to you, and they're also able to speak. It provides credibility because they're not on behalf of your company. It's a third party. They're speaking and they understand what your target audience is going through. So when we do presentations like that, it's not just talking about Kyriba or just talking about our solution. It's talking about their whole journey. So we really put a focus on, for us, it's financial transformation, treasury transformation, liquidity planning, but it doesn't matter what your solution is. Your C-level, your director level, contacts at a customer side are going to be going through similar challenges at different organizations. And so it's really a good way to share with your customers and really speak the same language as they do and make sure your message is heard.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I think understanding the customer is very important for any marketers, and that's what most of the marketers have been doing. But at the very same time, I think the collaborative efforts between both, the marketing and the sales and the success team can definitely lead to a more holistic kind of customer engagement strategy. So with this, I'll just going to move down to the next question, which is just all about what are the keys to building those relationship with customers, and how does it benefit?
Yeah, sure. So I think, I already mentioned a little bit about it, but definitely, from the customer perspective, it's about helping them build their personal brand, getting both internal and external visibility, and showcasing their achievements. So when I, create a customer story, I try to base it around kind of the personal story.
Yeah.
We'll have somebody came into the organization, they had a set of problems. What did they do to overcome those problems, move the roadblocks, and become successful? So we've done that a lot, usually starting off with something more simple, like a customer case study that can be done over a period of time. And eventually, as I said, building the relationships up to where they can come in and speak with you at events where you have that relationship with them, and you're able to, repurpose a lot of the content that you create with them and get it back out in front of your customers and drive interest and awareness of your solution.
Absolutely. I think repurpose is something which you just rightly coined that. And I think providing the personalized experience and delivering that exceptional customer service. So what are the key strategies for building and growing successful marketing team in the APAC region?
Yeah. So as you probably can tell, I'm not originally from Singapore. I'm from the US. Living in Asia for about 14 years, 12, 13 years. I've been in Singapore for almost 10 years now. So I know the region well. And I think, especially for marketers at organizations that are based in the US or in Europe, we're kind of left out here. Sometimes it feels like we're left out here alone by ourselves. And the most siloed region. As I said, maybe a leaner team than the other regions. And that has its benefits and its challenges.
Okay.
So, I think that it's really important, again, because usually just basic things like all hands calls, company-wide all hands calls will be scheduled for Europe and US time. We don't have that FaceTime, that visibility within the organization. So building up and increasing your team's internal visibility with senior leadership and with other stakeholders is really important to grow the team and to be successful and have your accomplishments and work recognized internally.
Okay. And so what are the practice you found most effective for aligning the marketing and sales team? And how do you ensure these strategies are communicated clearly?
Sure. So, I think it goes back to as a growth marketer or revenue marketer, our goals are the same as sales goals, right? Where our goal is revenue generation. And, there used to be a stereotype or a cliche that marketing and sales don't get along very well. Sales is complaining about the number of leads being brought in. Or the quality of the leads. Marketing is complaining that sales doesn't follow up on the leads. And that's and forth. I think it's changing broadly, at least from what I've seen at various organizations. And it's important because obviously, first of all, we're all on the same team and we can be more effective and have more success when we're working together towards those goals. And I think as a marketer, when you work with the sales organization, you need to speak their language. And one of the first ways we do that is, again, going back to data, backing up, why are we sponsoring a specific event or why are we running this campaign? You have the data mapped up. And, salespeople are numbers people. And if you can show, well, we brought in X number of meetings, X number of opportunities in the past, and that's why we have this strategy going forward, then you'll be able to have an easier time being on the same page.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I think the key is to foster more like a culture of collaboration, and that's where both sales and marketing have this shared accountability, and which you very rightly pointed out. Thank you so very much. And with this, can you also touch upon what else do you think it is important for marketing leaders to build a cross-functional collaboration?
Yeah. So besides sales, of course, you have other functional teams. For me, I always say, the BDR organization, the pre-sales or solution engineering organizations are my best friends. And I think it helps tremendously to work closely with them. For the BDRs, they're kind of the next step, usually BDR, SDR, after the leads come in. So the BDR is kind of the next step after you build your leads. And so obviously you need to have kind of a symbiotic relationship. And again, going back to kind of what kind of content you're delivering and the value, that's where the solution engineering, the pre-sales team comes in. And usually those subject matter experts, they love what they do and kind of the field that they're in, whether that's security or fintech or data and AI. They're passionate about it. And as marketers, we want to leverage on that passion and give them opportunities to share to the audience and again, speak the audience's language, deliver valuable content. And so, going back to kind of how to effectively work with all those teams together, I think it's important that marketing is not being a reactive team. Too often, marketing is looked at as kind of a supportive function. We're supporting sales or that sort of thing, but that's not the way it is. We're equals. We're all have the same goals, and we're all vital to the company's success. So when, as a marketing leader, you're able to set the strategy, have the data to back it up, and really over-communicate is what I do with my sales team. Because again, you don't want to get in a position where you're having requests come in from every angle and you're reacting and you're not having a clear path, a clear roadmap for what it is you want to do strategically as the marketing team. So over-communication, making sure that everybody understands why marketing is doing what it's doing, and also sharing your wins, showcasing your wins. As a marketer, we obviously, are good at promoting our brand and our company, but sometimes we're not so good at promoting ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's really important. For example, in the past, I've done this exercise where we mapped out for a few of our wins, every touch point that we had on that account prior to the deal closing. And For the one I remember off the top of my head, it was over 50 touch points in 2 years. Anything from downloading a book or white paper to attending an event, attending a roundtable, listening to a webinar. And if you think, it's sometimes, other teams, how much we're doing, and it's not just, oh, we got one lead from a specific event, and then sales goes and talks to that lead and closes that lead. Marketing is affecting across the account, different stakeholders within the customer organization, and then across time as well. It takes time to build up that brand awareness, to build up the education of what your solution can do for them, and then finally you can close a deal and get a win.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. Marketing is not a reactive team. That's more on a supportive part, and I think it's important for the marketers, marketing leaders, in fact, to build that cross-functional collaboration. In actually order to foster a more cohesive and integrated approach, and in achieving the organizational goal. So thank you so very much for that. So looking ahead, what emerging trends do you foresee in B2B marketing, and how do you plan to adapt your strategic engagement efforts to stay ahead of the curve?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. But actually, I did want to go back, I think, and expand a bit on when we were talking about building up the APAC team, being, a marketer in APAC and the challenges and benefits it has. So if you don't mind, there's a bit more I want to talk to you about that first, and then we can go out to maybe the future.
Absolutely. That's I leave the liberty to you as well.
Sure. So yeah, I think we were talking about being a lean team at APAC, how important it is to increase internal visibility, and to kind of expand upon that. I think as an APAC marketer, often you're getting campaigns pushed down from the global level, or you're localizing, recreating campaigns being executed in the US or in Europe. And I think to build that internal visibility, to be successful, to be seen as a proactive and dynamic team, marketers in APAC should really make a push to create high quality projects, campaigns, and kind of become a push factor instead of a reactive pull factor. Right? For example, when I came into this role at Kyriba, we have a maturity framework that we use when we speak to our customers. And I was looking to really build something that we can use at events that's engaging and interactive, not just only having presentations and sort of the standard things. So I actually created with my team here, we created a board game, kind of like Monopoly or Chutes and Ladders, based upon this maturity framework that we're now using at events. And it's actually going to be used at our global flagship event next month in the US, with, over around 1,000 attendees there. So, that's just one example of, not just waiting as someone in APAC, but really contributing to the team as a whole. And I think that goes back to, again, the benefits of being an APAC. Although you are somewhat siloed and feel a bit left out, the good thing is that it gives you more agility and independence. So you're able to move quicker, execute quicker. And, I always say, do something first and then ask for permission later, at least to some extent. I like to create pilot programs for new things I'm doing so you can, get the benefits without investing too much time or resources. And I do that even when I'm, pitching a new idea to my boss or to other leaders. I don't just go and I say, oh, I want to run a campaign or I want to create a video. You give them something visual, something they can bite down on and really see. And it's going to help you get that buy-in and help people visualize what you're trying to do. And that in the end will, again, help your visibility, help you grow your APAC team. It's all about resources. The more visible you are to the senior leadership, the more resources you're going to get, which is going to be able to help you execute more and be more successful in the end.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So what advice would you like to share with the other marketing leaders for the remaining 3 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes hand in hand with the question you asked about emerging trends and what, how I'm hoping or planning to stay ahead of the curve. And, you know, I think that marketing in general is becoming more and more competitive. There's many brands out there. Everybody has competitors. It's a busy market. You're competing for people's attention. Everybody's busy. Everybody's getting marketed to all the time. And so you really have to stand out by delivering value and in the quality of your execution. So again, going back to continuing to innovate, continuing to try new things, figure out what works, and kind of running those programs and being bold, being brave to try new things that may not work before. We're looking into some kind of unconventional campaigns with Instagram and that sort of thing that will be a bit far out in left field, but we'll run a small pilot to see if it works and go from there. And I think probably the final thing I want to share, something that I've learned and it's been on my mind recently, talking to some other marketers, goes back to, again, not being reactive. And marketers, I've seen some marketing organizations get into the habit of kind of being on the defensive. Sales may come in and push and say, oh, why don't we have enough leads? Where's our pipeline? Or there'll just be a lot of asks. I need a data sheet on this, and then I need an event for this. I need a webinar on this topic. And it can create kind of, I would say, toxic environment. It can build this attitude where marketing is on the defensive and feel like we're doing so much, and yet it's not, other people don't see it and don't feel it's enough. And so for me, besides what I mentioned before about over-communicating, setting the strategy from the start, being very clear with what you're delivering, how you're delivering it, I also try to always have the attitude of having my first answer be yes. Everything's a yes. You come and ask them for something, it's a yes, until it's a no. But when it is a no, there's a darn good reason for it. And I've built up that relationship and the capital with the other stakeholders that they know I'm saying no for a good reason. And because I always say yes to everything. And I think, that goes a long way in building up those relationships. And also, as marketers, I think we often see the challenges or the problems, or, we're worried about, oh, is that on brand? Is that, how hard is that going to be to execute? Where's the budget going to come from? But that's, again, going back to why I love marketing, is that's where the creativity and the artistic part of things come in, to think out of the box about how to get things done, and work together with other teams, and in the end, be more successful together.
Absolutely, I think bold, be creative, and think out of the box is something much required. Thanks, Nicholas. Looking ahead, I think we anticipate that B2B marketing will continue to evolve with the growing emphasis on personalized marketing experience, AI-driven analytics, build relationship with the micro influencer, and increase the importance of sustainability and ethical business practice. So, I think that the future of marketing for the remaining 3 quarters in 2024 looks to be bright and pretty exciting for all of us. So with this, we come to the end of the episode. Thank Nicholas for such an insightful marketing session. We really had a great pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a great session.
Thanks a lot.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.